With us on the phone is my good friend, licensed clinical social worker Tracy Cardello. And Tracy, I think that something that we can't avoid talking about right now is this idea of a New Year's resolution.
We like fresh starts, don't we? So we plan to make fresh starts at the beginning of the year or Monday morning or the beginning of a new month, right? It feels like psychologically it sort of wipes the slate clean for us. For example, if you're finding yourself in a bad mood and you make a conscious effort to think about something that you love, something that makes you really happy, and it could be something, it could be your pet. It instantly changes your mood. So even though you might still feel a little down, looking at your pet who looks back at you with such loving little eyes can't help but change your state. And that's what we're all looking for in New Year's resolutions.
I always felt, as somebody that struggled with their weight their entire life, whenever I did decide to get back in shape in the form of a diet or something like that, I always felt the need to eat as much crap as possible the day before I'm going to start, almost like a last hurrah. And that also seems to be a negative trait that we all have. Like, would you recommend something like that? Like, you're going to start your diet tomorrow, one last piece of cheesecake, or is that just another way of procrastinating the inevitable?
Well, I think it's another way of procrastinating the inevitable, right? I mean, look, if you want one last piece of cheesecake, go right ahead and have it. But know that, it's not helping you achieve the goal that you think you want to achieve. So I think it comes down to figuring out, do I really want this goal that I say I want? Weight loss is a good example of this, right? We all want to be our best self. We all want to look our best. Everybody wants to lose weight for the new year or keep their weight off or maintain a stable weight.
Why? But why is it so easy to do that? Like, we can look in the mirror and know we need to lose weight to adapt new ones.
Part of it is what we tell ourselves, right? Like, so we could have some limiting beliefs standing in the way. Like, being overweight is genetic. Everyone in my family is overweight. Or I'll miss out on exciting, interesting things if I'm on a diet, right? Rather than focusing on your health, you're giving up something that you crave or something that you love or something that, triggers you in some sort of way to make you feel different than you do. Well, think about it. I mean, does smoking really help you cope with something? Does eating really help you cope with something, right? So if you're feeling stressed and you go to any addictive substance, it doesn't really matter what it is, you get momentary relief. Then you also get like a flood of guilt that you shouldn't have done that, or you promised yourself you weren't going to do that. Maybe you made a promise to someone else that you weren't going to do it. And so now all you can feel is guilt and shame that you did the thing that you promised you weren't going to do. So the thing about quitting stuff is that we tend to focus on it even more. So, you talk to reformed smokers who know exactly like how many years, months, days, hours since they had a cigarette last.
Sure.
All they're doing is thinking about cigarettes, right? So one of the things I think you want to do is sort of start to detach yourself.
So if we have terrible habits to begin with, and not habits but attitudes, do you suggest maybe not making a resolution if you have such a poor track record of changing? Because at that point, really all you're doing is making yourself feel worse, right, if you don't go through with the resolution?
Restaurants and advertisements and things like that help us focus. So I try to help people recalibrate to address their triggers, realize if their triggers are people, places, things. Are their triggers emotions, right? Like boredom is a big trigger for eating, for overeating. So we try to address those first and then think about, like, what am I really getting when I indulge in this behavior? And is it worth it, right? So the momentary feeling of comfort that I might feel, where does that come from, right? Is that a childhood thing that every time I was uncomfortable, I got some sort of, sugary treat and that helped me to feel better? But did it really feel better? Like, so what do you really want to make you feel better? Sometimes it's a break. Go for a walk, clear your head. Sometimes you want to speak to somebody and get like that external support from someone.
Sure.
It can be all kinds of things that actually do help you cope with stress. That's going to help you feel more hopeful from the inside, and that's where real structural change happens.